The Buck Splizzors are fishing scissors and pliers that I think would make great electrician scissors too. Let's take a look. So let's start with the sheath that it comes with. It's actually a nice little clasp that holds the splizzers, or I'm just going to call them scissors, in place. It's great material. I think the biggest downside to this is that the belt loop itself is kind of cheap feeling, but everything else feels really good and sturdy. And in the back of the sheath, it actually comes with replaceable blades for the scissors, which we'll talk about in a little bit. They have really great rubber handles, depending on how you like to hold your scissors. There's a lot of different holding configurations you can do with these. A little note on why I kind of like certain scissors is that when they're user serviceable. So you can see here, there's a little nut here that you can get a wrench on. And then you also have your hex bit wrench here that you can use here. So you can actually tighten these up. So on top of the sheath already having great retention of the scissors, they have a lanyard as well. So they're pretty good for high up locations. You're not going to drop these, and I guess because these are made for fishing, you don't want to lose them in the water, so that's why they would have such great retention methods. It also has a bottle opener, which that's kind of useless for electricians. So you can see at the very bottom of the handle, it has a small crimper and then a large crimper. Here is a banana 4 scale. These are pretty big scissors. Please subscribe. So the pliers themselves are the very tip. They're pretty thin little needle nose pliers, and as needle nose pliers, they work really well. Where they fall short as pliers is that you can see there's a sticking point, and that's because there's so much pressure holding these together that to open them up you need a lot of pressure, and if you actually look, they're actually misaligned. And as you close them up, they push themselves back together. And I don't know if that's my pair, because these are discontinued now, or if that's every pair. In terms of gripping stuff, I found that they grip really well. I'm trying to rip this out here. And that's because they have really good small teeth here to really grab onto things. I have some wire here, and if I want to like bend it over, this is 14 gauge stuff, so it's pretty heavy, but you can see I can make little tiny notches, and I can cut that just fine. So in terms of bending wire, you can see you can do that pretty easily. In the marketing material, it says edge to edge pressure 10 times that of normal scissors, and I'm not sure how they've achieved this, maybe because of the way they've bent those blades. And again, I don't know if this is just mine or if this is all of them, but you can definitely see here these blades are bent inwards, and maybe that's what's creating that 10 times that of normal pressure. But one nice thing about these is you can see on one side there's little micro serrations on one of the blades here, which really makes it so that when you're trying to cut something, they don't slip. Here's some regular paper, and you can see here, it's gonna cut just fine. And actually, unlike a lot of other scissors I find that have pliers in them, because they're flat and thin, it actually doesn't feel too bad to cut with these regular paper. It's not terrible for cardboard, but these definitely aren't made for cardboard. And it's hard to really get in there and cut cardboard. I have some zip ties here, and of course these are going to make short work of these. And then I have a slightly bigger one, and I mean even right at the tip here, here's some survival paracord, and it cuts it just fine. I'm gonna have to clean that up. So yeah, cuts real nice. Oh, that's butter down there. This is a thicker duvetine, almost kind of like a denim, and it cuts it really well. Actually, it cuts it better, I would say, than paper. Yeah, that's nice. Here's 14 gauge copper, which you already saw me cut through, but I'll do it again. So right at the tip there, that's no problem. In the middle, it's a little bit tougher, but I can do it. And at the tip, oh, I can't do it at the tip. But in the middle, no problem. So it can cut 10 gauge wire. So here's 10 gauge AWG. Oh, there you go. So it does cut that. So I've been cutting solid core wire. Here is just your standard lamp cord, and it's stranded inside of there. And let's cut some of this, and it's cutting it wonderfully. Here is 18 gauge galvanized steel wire, and it cuts it pretty nicely. The scissor parts are really good, and if you want to replace the blades, I have a 0 screwdriver here. You'd have to take these apart, and then you want to use the little screwdriver here to remove these screws on either side, and then replace them with the replacements that come in there. Now, because this is a discontinued model, good luck finding replacements beyond what they give you. So yeah, it's a fishing tool that I think could be good for electricians, because I like exploring things outside the norm, and you should explore fields outside of your specialty. When you're doing the same work day in and day out, you develop thinking patterns that are adjusted to the one job that you're doing. And having knowledge in other areas can help you see your work from a different angle, which can help you be more adaptable and creative. Thanks for watching.